It's why did nobody tell me week on Channel Mum, which I think is a great topic because there's so many things that nobody told me. So many things, and a lot of girls have covered a lot of fantastic subjects, and you can find them all on the www.channelmum.com thing. I'm gonna just plug the page there because you'll see really good ones like about isolation and all sorts of stuff. I can't even remember offhand all the other subjects we've done, but one I did do, I worked with Natasha Bailey and that did a Channel Mum about broken vaginas from some that had urinary incontinence problems afterwards, or prolapse vaginas, and then myself who just had a totally broken vagina, vulva ruined from childbirth, tearing issues. I know you crossed your legs a little bit, but hey, I bet you squeezed as well, which is working your pelvic floor, which is good. But if you want to see those, the links down below. I will also link my designer vagina video because I did have an operation because it was that ruined, for anyone that wants to watch that. But that is age restricted. It is not sexual at all. It may put you off sex, but yeah, if you're young and you think, ooh, sex video, no, it's really, hate to burst your bubble, it's not going to work for you. I'll put those links below. But this one I thought, why did no one tell me the full truth about competitive mums? Now, we've all heard of Janet. Let's just use the name Janet. Janet's kid is 11 weeks old and speaks fluent French, Italian, German, does backflips, is a qualified trapeze artist, and probably can make a better cup of coffee in Starbucks than the trained barista. We all know a Janet, and we smile at them, and the most part we just giggle internally and let them carry on about the child learning Cantonese this week and how completely amazing they are. Do you know what? You are right, your kid is amazing. Even if they don't speak Spanish, even if you've given them nothing but formula milk and you stick a dummy in both of their ears as well as their mouth, they are fantastic and you are very, very lucky. Congratulations, Janet. But when you start going nuclear on other people because their kid does something and they're not boasting about it, that's when I'm like, no, bad Janet. And I'm very sorry to anyone who's actually called Janet. It's just that's the name on the memes that go around Facebook. So apologies to all Janets. I don't mean you. Unless your kid speaks Cantonese and does backflips and all of that lot at 11 weeks old, then I'm talking to you. So I knew one mum and I genuinely did like her. She was very competitive, but in everything else she was absolutely just one of the loveliest people. When it came to kids, she was uncomfortably competitive, and I'd had my first and this was not her first, and she'd be like, my baby's gaining so much weight, I've had to put them up in a nappy size on IMAs, and I'd be like, that's really good because we both breastfed. And then it was like, well, yours hasn't gone up yet. Oh, my baby's gained more weight than yours. I'm a much better mother. My milk is superior. And I'd be like, it probably is. You know, I felt really down. I was really depressed about breastfeeding journey. I've said about that before. I had loads of struggle with George, and thanks to my Janet, who by the way is not called Janet, I ended up probably giving up on breastfeeding sooner than I would have done, because it was just, I had the health visitors telling me failure to thrive, and then I had her nagging in my ear, and I was defeated, I was depressed, I sat and cried for hours. It was great fun. And that's what no one warns you about. No one warns you about the fact that this Janet can get into your head and really mess with you and create much bigger problems than you ever imagined some randomer called Janet could actually do. Janet is not cool sometimes. I remember meeting up with her for coffee when our kids were little, and she put a blanket down, she popped her little baby down, and they were about 5.5 months, probably just coming up to 6 months, but not quite. In that sort of like age gap. And she said, oh, well, you're not going to put George down. I said, oh no, he'll just crawl off. And she just gave me the death glare. Well, I'm sorry, I don't believe that. And I was like, wait, what? Sorry? And she's like, whatever, there's no way he's crawling. And I was like, well, it doesn't matter, he's just staying in his pushchair. And she's like, well, I want to see it. And I was like, well, you're getting upset, so, and he might not do it, and then I'm going to look like a liar, was the other thing that I didn't say. But I was like, no, I'd rather not. She's like, well, and got really almost quite aggressive, like not like she's going to punch me, but you know when they go really in your face and quite loud. And I was like, okay. So put him down on his back, and he rolled over into his front, and he crawled off. And I said, look, the floor's not particularly clean, and he just puts everything in his mouth, so I'm going to just put it back in the pushchair. She looked like she wanted to kill me, and I was like, this is slightly uncomfortable. Basically saying, you think your kid's smarter than mine. And I was like, dude, chill. He can't even sit up properly. How smart can he be? He will crawl, but I didn't sit him up so he could crawl off because he was still really wobbly doing that. but he would just go from his back, roll onto his front, get up onto his knees, and he'd be off. He was the only one of my children that did that. So yeah, that was a little bit fun, and after that she pretty much stopped talking to me. So what are your why did nobody tell me moments? What are the things that happened to you as a parent that have made you go, why did no one warn me this was going to happen? Let me know in the comments below. Were you also sort of shunted out by competitive mum? Do you know a Janet? Does her kid really speak Mandarin? Really? Well, unless obviously they're born where they speak Mandarin as a language, in which case yes, your kid probably does. I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.